ChatGPT has been a pretty popular tool for a lot of people, as long as you don't get caught using it in class. But with all the knowledge stored away in AI, what does AI think about Call of Duty? Today, we're going to be doing something completely different. I went and I asked ChatGPT what it thinks the 20 best maps in Call of Duty history are, and it gave me its top 20. So we're going to go through these together. I'll give you my analysis on whether or not the AI is right or wrong, and we'll see just how in sync or out of sync ChatGPT is with the COD community, specifically the Chaos community. And I guess you could say this is AI Jimmy, because we are literally doing a list that was AI generated. So you let me know what you think the top 20 maps in COD history are down in the comments. Drop a like, and let's see what AI has to say about Call of Duty multiplayer maps. At number 20, ChatGPT said Hacienda and Black Ops 4. Not exactly starting off on a strong foot. Now, I'm not saying Hacienda is a bad map, not at all. Frankly, it was one of the better original maps from Black Ops 4, but I would never dream of putting it on a list of the best COD maps of all time. But apparently, ChatGPT thinks it deserves a spot. As Hacienda was brought into Black Ops 6, it got decent reception. Like I said, it's one of the better original maps from BO4. I can see why some people enjoy it. Kind of reminds me of Showdown from COD 4 with the big arena-ish style design, but ultimately, it's probably a 7 out of 10 map at best. So yeah, ChatGPT not starting off on a great foot with this list. At number 19, Greenberg Hotel in Modern Warfare 2 2022. Now, chat might be trolling, honestly. Another map where it wasn't bad, but I wouldn't have dreamed of putting it on a list of the top 20 best maps in the whole freaking franchise. Greenberg is one of the better maps in Modern Warfare 2 2022, but let's be real with each other. That's a low bar, because the maps in this game were really bad. I mean, it plays better in Modern Warfare 3 2023 with that faster movement, longer time to kill, and I can at least say it's one of the better maps in Infinity Ward's design in the post-Warzone era, but come on. No. I mean, I would say it's a 6 out of 10 map, maybe 7. It's decent compared to the other crap Infinity Ward has released recently, but it's nothing compared to the Golden Age maps. Again, maybe GPT is trolling. We'll see. Maybe it gets better. At number 18, Gunrunner in Modern Warfare 2019. Do we know if Infinity Ward is sending checks to the ChatGPT people? Do we? I mean, Gunrunner was one of the launch maps in Modern Warfare 2019. It was fine, I guess. It was the map with the train tracks in the middle of the map, couple buildings, couple warehouses. It was one of the only maps in the game that was even remotely fast-paced on launch day. It was fine. I mean, no clue why it's on this list, but okay. I mean, it was okay. And whenever me and Ashley ever argue with each other, we know that if one of us says, I'm fine, that it's not fine. So yeah, this map is fine. At number 17. Hackney Yard in Modern Warfare 2019. I'm pretty sure this is the first map on the list so far that people would actually say is an 8 out of 10, but yet it's not a map I would put in the top 20 maps of all time. I mean, yet ChatGPT is insistent on putting it here, so here it is. I think I could honestly say this is the best Infinity Ward map of the last decade, but that's not saying a lot because Infinity Ward hasn't had a great track record with games over the last decade. But I do think if we put Hackney Yard in a game like classic Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 1, that it would fit in well enough. But ChatGPT really needs to turn this list around, because I'm about to completely write off AI as a concept if this is what it genuinely thinks the best COD maps of all time are. And it could go research my channel. It could have used all that too, but yet it's flying on its own here. So we'll see where it goes. And if this is something that's fun for you guys and we see a bunch of new listings we never thought we would see and ChatGPT likes to troll us, we could do other topics completely picked by ChatGPT and narrated by me. At number 16. Skid Row in Modern Warfare 2 2009. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. Skid Row was one of the most unique maps in classic Modern Warfare 2 because not only were you fighting through the dead center of a bunch of buildings instead of just around them like most COD maps, but there was also 2 distinct levels to the map. You had the ground level and the second level being 2 entirely different battlefields with different required strategies. Skid Row came back a few times after classic MW2, and it's definitely a fan favorite, so I'm on board with this one. I'm on board. I can agree with this one. At number 15, Estate Modern Warfare 2 2009. Okay. I mean, it's kind of tough. One hand, I absolutely love the map. I probably think about putting it on a list like this all the time. But on the other hand, I know a lot of people hated the map back in the day. And even in the modern COD community, there's a lot of people who don't think Estate is very good, mainly because of how one-sided matches could get. Yeah, Map was unbalanced. If your team had control of the building on top of the hill or the building with the second story garage, you are going to be able to absolutely sit there, peek out windows, mow down anybody who tried to approach you. So no, it wasn't a very well-balanced map, but it was certainly an iconic map. Had amazing moments that you wouldn't get anywhere else. So what do you guys think? Do you think Estate belongs on the list of the best maps in COD history, or do you think this is a map that was too flawed to deserve a spot? And it's subjective. I mean, what do you consider the best? The best flow, the best memories, the best nostalgia, the best layout? I mean, all those factors have to come in, and I know Estate is definitely nostalgic. At number 14, Favela in Modern Warfare 2 2019. Good job, ChatGPT. This one belongs on the list, no doubt. Some of you may actually know this map was cut from COD 4, but I'm glad it was because it fits the gameplay of Modern Warfare 2 way better. Favela wouldn't have hit the same without the insane kill streaks coming into the map, or the ACR spam, or the people lurking around the alleyways with the akimbo models. It was a dynamic map, and it's still, to me, a visual treat to this day, which is kind of wild. Deserves to be in the spot 20. ChatGPT doesn't have a great record so far, but this one's good. Actually, that's 2 out of 3 so far. At number 13, Slums in Black Ops 2. Another definite hit. Slums was one of my favorite maps in Black Ops 2, even if it was one of the most unfair domination maps in COD history. Had your classic 3-lane layout, but the middle section, it got kind of crazy. If you ran out in the middle of the map, you were either going to die immediately, or you were going to pull off some insane multi-kill that gave your team total control of the map until the enemy respawned. And even though the B flag placement and domination was complete BS, it was still one of the most exciting maps in Black Ops 2. One of the best in COD history. It's one of the best examples of expanding the 3-lane design to give the middle some more space while also keeping everything connected so the flow was top notch. Now we're on a little bit of a mini streak here. At number 12, Summit in Black Ops 1. One of the best snow maps in COD history, if not the best snow map. All right, chat. Summit was one of the most fast-paced maps in the original Black Ops. Had some really good design where it was super long and super narrow, but each lane was very distinct. It gave you space to move around. There was also some really interesting elements of verticality. You had the windows overlooking the center control room. You had the balcony overlooking the 2 spawn points outside. You could actually fall off the map if you weren't careful. Summit was iconic, and it was remade several times throughout COD history for good reason. Easily belongs on the list. At number 11, Dome in Modern Warfare 3 2011. Now, this is a map that I would actually have put much higher on the list, but ChatGPT has it at number 11. I'm okay with it. It's one of the most remade maps in COD history. Most people agree it was the best map in classic Modern Warfare 3 because, well, a lot of reasons. The choke points, the layout, the abundance, the viable playstyles. This was the 1v1 map of choice back in Modern Warfare 3, but it was still big enough to be crazy. High kill domination map of choice, not being absurd like Rust or Shipment in the previous Modern Warfare games. And if you played Drop Zone on this map, you know how nuts it could actually be. So it belongs on the list. I don't think 11, but it belongs. Now we arrived at number 10. Raid in Black Ops 2. Another one of the most remade maps in COD history. It debuted in Black Ops 2, instantly became a fan favorite because it was fun. It was fun around run around a fancy Hollywood property and get in people's faces. This is probably one of the most perfectly designed 3-lane maps in COD history. Every map has a distinct style, a preferred approach. In the middle lane, crazy close range aggression. Side lane where the parking lot, sniping Overwatch. Opposite side lane with a basketball court, moving quickly and flanking. I mean, as long as nobody was sitting up in the second story window with a DSR. And then you had the smaller maps or the smaller spots around the map. They were iconic. The little building connecting the middle, the side lanes, the tree, the garage at C-Flag. It was iconic. But another one that I would have bumped higher. But that's okay. ChatGPT is cooking right now. At number 9, Standoff in Black Ops 2. It's one of the best Treyarch maps of all time. Standoff was the perfect blend of sniper camping and SMG rushing, and that's what made it so great. You were fighting in the streets of a little town. You used the buildings both sides as flanking routes, connections between the lanes, power positions from second stories. If you were spotted in the second story window of any of these buildings, there was a good chance the entire enemy was going to start trying to flush you out, but then your team could use you as a distraction to start flanking around and cleaning up the other power positions, and then the cycles repeated. It was a great map for every single game mode, and Treyarch absolutely nailed the balance of power positions and flanking. It was really hard to make a map with the second story windows and Overwatch power positions and still have flanking on foot, but they did it. That's why Standoff is so great. This is a top 10 map in COD history. ChatGPT gets a little pat on the back for this one from me. I'm actually pleasantly surprised right now. And number 8, Firing Range in Black Ops 1. Okay. Once again, putting ChatGPT, I'm boosting him up. Come on. I mean, I probably would have moved it up a few spots. That's okay. Firing range was one of the smallest maps in the original Black Ops. It didn't really feel that small because the flow was so good. Three lanes, distinct as you ran around this military training ground. Lots of great positions. You could hold them all down. Choke points you could focus on. Vertical spots you could try to grab and secure. There was even that sniper tower in the dead center of the map. It made it virtually impossible to get to the top without being spotted. If you did get up there, I mean, if you had attack insert, you were locking it down. Unless the enemy team caught onto you and started spamming grenades up there. Firing range was the perfectly balanced map. Honestly, the OG version looks great. There's something to be said about the art style Treyarch was using in the original Black Ops because when the game came out in 2010, it looked great. It looks great by modern standards. At number 7, Crossfire in COD 4. I'm not really sure what this is doing here. Crossfire is not a bad map. It's honestly one of my favorites from COD 4, and if we're talking about the most exciting sniper maps in COD history, okay. But the 7th best of all time? I mean, maybe ChatGPT just likes sniping too much, or maybe ChatGPT is a COD 4 purist, because look, Crossfire was a super fun map, had some of the most unique sniper engagements in COD history. Did a great job at making sniping in the dominant playstyle of the map without making it slow or campy. But it is not the 7th best COD or map in COD history. Frankly, I'm not sure this map would even be in my top 20 if I was doing this list myself. It's a good map. It's not that good. At number 6, Crash in COD 4. I've actually called Crash one of the best maps in COD history before. Heck, I think I may have actually called it the best Infinity Ward map in COD history in a previous video. I still think it's one of the best we've ever gotten. It's a perfect example of why people love the classic Modern Warfare trilogy map design. Lots of clutter, insane visuals, town busted up, helicopter in the middle. No point did it feel like the map was too cluttered or that it was too difficult to see people. And you had the layout, which was pitch perfect. The lanes, they were distinct. They were good for rushing. You had all the buildings, the second story windows. They acted as power positions. You could look down the rest of the map, give you an insane advantage as long as you didn't get picked off by somebody watching you from the other power positions. Crash was great. Amazing layout. Lots of awesome power positions, but everything balanced out everywhere else. Each power position had a distinct counter somewhere on the map, and when both teams were using all the power positions to their advantage, this is some of the best COD multiplayer of all time. Now we arrive at the top 5 of ChatGPT. Shipment in COD 4. This is going to piss people off. I mean, I appreciate that chat made it clear it was talking about the original COD 4 version here, not any of the remakes. I think Shipment's negative reputation now comes from those remakes. Most of you playing COD today probably never experienced classic COD 4 Shipment. It's a shame because I think it's the best version of the map we've ever gotten. Small, fast-paced, chaotic, felt controlled still, predictable. The spawns were very thoughtfully placed. Infinity Ward was really careful about where they put certain head glitches and cover pieces. OG Shipment, it's an awesome 6v6 map. It's a piece of COD history. It got its own 1v1 playlist called Cage Match, if anybody remembers that. Completely created the 1v1 culture of COD as a whole. So honestly, I think OG Shipment deserves the spot for its legacy and design. You may have hated it for playing on this map, a new one, but the old one back in 2007, I can dig this. At number 4, High Rise in Modern Warfare 2 2009. This is one of the most iconic maps in COD history. Has you fighting along the top of a skyscraper. You get to use bits and pieces for flanking and cover. The layout was open and intense, which led to some really crazy sniper fights and some ridiculous chopper gunner and AC-130 explosions. There was no hiding from overhead kill streaks if somebody managed to get one of the higher tier ones. Everybody knows High Rise is iconic. Everybody agrees. It's one of the best maps in COD history. Now, would I put it at top 5? I don't think so. High Rise was iconic and fun. It had the all-time great power positions, but it was also unbalanced, similar to how Estate was unbalanced. It was easy to spawn trap the enemy team, completely dominate the map just because you had a couple quick kills and you locked the enemy team in place for a few minutes. And I know that's kind of the appeal for some of these classic Modern Warfare 2 maps, but if we're trying to rank the best COD maps of all time, I think it's kind of hard to justify putting a map at number 4 when we know all of the serious glaring flaws. I do think High Rise would be my top 20. At number 3, Terminal in Modern Warfare 2 2009. Now this map totally deserves a top 5 spot. Heck, this map deserves a top 3 spot, which is where it's at. I am okay with it. I would have been okay if it was number 1. Just a phenomenal map. Medium-sized battlefield, so much variety in the layout, made it so basically every play style could thrive here as long as you were willing to learn the layout and understand where people were coming from and which angles were going to try to be dangerous for you. People would pick a class and then start locking down certain sections of the map that they were most comfortable with. You had shotgunners in the gift store, AR players in the middle hallway, campers inside the plane, snipers playing every angle of the map on the edges. It was such a well-balanced and varied map. Top tier Call of Duty map. I agree with you, ChatGPT. At number 2, Rust in Modern Warfare 2 2009. This is a hot take. Even though Rust is iconic, it's nostalgic. I don't think any COD players, including myself, are going to put it this high on the list of best maps ever. Yeah, you'd probably say it has some of the best memories. Very cleverly designed with all the verticality and power positions. Honestly, pretty impressive that the original 2009 version had these spawns. I mean, go back and watch some of the videos of OG Rust. You'll see what I mean. The spawns were actually really good for this map. They were. But second best in COD history? Come on, chat. That's a little extreme. Definitely top 20. I could argue maybe... No, I wouldn't even... I don't think I'd put it in top 10. I don't know. Rust at number 2 is kind of throwing me off here. Now we arrive at number 1, picked by ChatGPT. Nuketown in Black Ops 1. Come on. People aren't... You made them mad at the very end, chat. One hand, yes. It's one of the most iconic maps in COD history. I'm pretty sure it's now the single most remade map in COD history. On the other hand... There's so many people out there that hate the way Nuketown plays, and they felt that way even before it was remade 50 times. We just got in Black Ops 7. You could argue that the hate for Nuketown comes from burnout. In some extent, you're probably right. At the same time, though, you can go back to forum posts from Black Ops 1 and 2's era. You'll see the map always had haters, and frankly, it has flaws. There's always been these cheesy strategies that dominate the map. There's always been some design oversights like the Black Ops 1 Jeep and the Black Ops 2 hard-locking spawns. So even though Nuketown is probably the single most iconic map in COD history, is it really the best? No, it's not. But ChatGPT seems to think it is, so here it is. There you go, my friends. Let me know how you think GPT did here. If you want him to do other topics, put them in the comment section. This could be fun. We can roast them half the time, and then if they get it right, and maybe we see some new stuff. I don't know. It's fun. Hope you guys have a great day. See you soon.